Welcome to the Millennial Lawyer Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Millennial Lawyer Podcast with Mark Shirian. Mark is a New York litigation attorney and founder of Mark David Shirian PC, known for securing seven-figure results in personal injury, employment, and complex civil cases. I'm Kevin Rosenquist, and today we're exposing one of their sneakiest tactics, private investigator surveillance, and how it can sabotage your injury case if you're not careful. Mark, good to see you. Welcome back.
Happy to be back.
Is it common practice for insurance companies to hire private investigators in injury cases? Is this something they typically do?
Totally. I mean, it is definitely on an injury case, on a car accident case, for sure. It's definitely something that we see all the time.
When it comes to legality of filming someone at their home in public or anywhere, like how does that work? Is a PI allowed to do that?
They are allowed to do that. You're talking about a day in the life sort of video. I can explain what that is.
Sure. Yeah.
So we had a trip and fall case that actually involved a tourist from Florida who was visiting New York, and in the middle of the litigation, I get an email and a copy of a day in the life video, which is basically they went and got an investigator to spend a whole day surveilling my client. So he went to go get something to eat. He went, he was doing stuff in his yard. He went to go pick up his kid. All these things that my client did for the day or for the week. Yeah, we do see that. Are there benefits of it? I think, quite frankly, I think it can go either way. Yes, if you're saying that you're completely unable to do anything and it shows that you're out and about having a good time and it discredits your testimony and how this impacted you, yeah, that can be extremely damaging to your case. But on the other hand, it could backfire on them, because it can show that as much pain that you are actually in, you are trying hard to live your life. And
okay.
There are ways, not to say spin these videos, but it could very much, I've seen it backfire on these defendants as well. So it can go either way, but I have seen it. It has happened to my clients before.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a hey, yeah, I've got to get my kid to school. I've got to go shopping, but I'm just doing it in pain now because of my injury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Does certain types of footage hold up in court where others don't?
I'm pretty sure that when you're talking about surveillance, let's say like CCTV surveillance, you aren't allowed to record sound when it comes to that sort of surveillance. So that's one thing. And usually you do want to hear what they had to say,
Sure.
But it's not on video. Whether, like, for example, if the allegation is that, oh, hey, I complained about this puddle in the hallway and you guys didn't do anything, and it's on video that someone went and said something, but you don't know what they said. Yeah, it can be problematic. But for the most part, it's great because it can either really credit you or it discredits you. And now, thankfully, we can see what happens. But I will say it does come with problems in that now with AI, you can doctor up a video the way you would like.
Very easily.
And that's something that we need to be very much aware of.
Agreed. As I'm picturing this, I think of The Sopranos or any other mobster movies I've seen over the years with surveillance and, florist vans outside a house and stuff like that. How does this stuff usually unfold? Are there red flags that you would tell someone like, that, hey, you might be under surveillance?
That's a good question. I guess look around at your surroundings. If some people are more vigilant than others when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to these sort of things. You can kind of tell if someone's following you or not. Um, I I think it goes back to our prior discussion about social media. If you overshare and you're very public about your life, it's very easy to figure out where you are or where you're going to be, or if it's a very predictable thing, like you're always going to your kids' games at that particular geotag, and you're opening yourself up to being surveilled. But I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a lot more discreet than you would think, especially when they're hiring professionals who do this for a living. So I guess just be discreet about your whereabouts when it comes to preventing being surveilled. But they know where you live. So when
Mm-hmm.
you bring a lawsuit, they're going to know your address. They're going to know who you live with. They're going to know who your spouse is and who your kids are. And at a deposition, they're going to figure out a lot of information about you, which makes it very easy for them to figure out where you reside and where you're going to be. So
Mm-hmm.
there's not so much you can do to prevent this from happening,
Right.
unless you
Yeah.
just want to never leave your home.
Yeah. Just some people don't, but for most of us, it doesn't really work.
Right. Right.
Is there a way that clients can protect themselves from being misrepresented on video? Because I'm imagining that's going to be one of the biggest concerns, is like something can get skewed against them when it was maybe perhaps benign or innocent.
Well, obviously, keeping your own records, maybe going to places with others and not being alone. I guess that's the only thing you can do. And maybe just documenting as much as you can where you're going and what you're doing and why you're going there.
How do you counter surveillance footage during litigation if it gets to that point?
Well, like I said earlier, sometimes these things can be helpful.
Right.
They didn't know they were being recorded. It shows that they are trying to live their lives to the best of their ability. Uh, I've never had a fight to keep these things out, but they could use it to, it comes in as far as credibility. If you're saying you can't go to the gym anymore and it shows that you're, going to LA Fitness and, you're doing all this stuff, it becomes a problem. So
Mm-hmm.
it is very relative how we can attack it and what the circumstances are. But if they're using it to attack your own credibility because you testified that you're no longer able to do certain things, but on the video it shows that you are, that can certainly come in and attack your credibility when it comes to your case. So again, it's all relative, but those are some things to keep in mind for sure.
Is there a specific time generally that an insurer might use surveillance? Will they do it right away at the very beginning of a case, more towards the trial or settlement talks? Does it just kind of depend?
It depends, but the surveillance usually happens, from what I've seen, in the middle of the litigation once they have more information about
Oh,
the
okay.
claim. Yeah.
Why is that, you think?
Because they have more information about you, where they're able
Oh,
to
I see what you're
pinpoint.
saying.
It's a lot easier to do this type of surveillance when they have more information about who you are as a person, like who you reside with, where you reside with, what do you do for work, how often do you go to the gym, what gym do you go to. These are things that come out at a deposition. How often do you travel? Um, how long have you been living in that area for? So if you've been living there for a long time, you're going to be there for a while. So it's easy to figure out where you're at all
Mm-hmm.
times, for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God, it's so crazy to think about, like being followed like that. Like I said, I can't help but think of The Sopranos. But like when you sit down with a new client, do you kind of coach them on this? Hey, there's a chance that you could be surveilled, so be careful. Do this, no, don't do that. Are these conversations that you have early on?
Yeah, clients need to know that this can happen at any time, and that they just need to be aware that this is happening, And we definitely let them know that they're going to be surveilled, and we let them know that their social media is fair game, and that they need to be careful with what they post on social media. So.
I suppose that's probably a good segue into that conversation. Hey, don't be posting on social media because you don't want to give them any ammunition. Also, you could potentially be surveilled. So same thing. Don't be, playing basketball at your local court if you're claiming that you've got back injury or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, if you suspect insurance companies are playing games with your case, it's time to fight back. Visit ShirianPC.com to speak with Mark Shirian today. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us a review. We greatly appreciate it. Mark, always good talking to you. Thanks so much.
Great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.